Hello? Shit. That's better. Hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for, well, thank you for the shirt, but actually, I wanted to say thank you to Maya. Maya, you sent something today. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. Maybe I should compose myself. You like bubble water? Interesting. What's thousands of bubble waters? I mean, that's like what I have. I have literally thousands of aluminum cans, and they don't recycle anymore. So I got to figure out. I got to go like directly to some place that has like an aluminum smelting place. But I'm going to do that because we can't just throw that shit away. Anyway, you had said some really important things about the tenets of partnership. For me, that idea of being the other part, good at something that somebody else is not. Your partner is strong in something that you are weak at. These kinds of things, this balancing when two can come together is an incredible message. And to your friend, she's very lucky. And that's incredible news. Congratulations. Happy soon-to-be wedding. A really interesting thing occurred to me, though, when I was reading this, and I wanted to share this also with you. I want to get specifically to paraphrase. It's about a person in a ditch who is trying to get out. All sorts of folks walk by this person, refusing advice or help, but then a friend walks by and jumps in. The original ditch dweller is shocked, as he was just asking for help to get out of the ditch. But the friend decided that it was just better to not be alone, as his friend faced the ditch. So there they stood, together in the ditch, both in need of help, but no longer alone. That was really stuck with me, and I read that earlier this morning in this room. And then I picked up this book, which has been in my library. This is a very important book. The writer of this book did a lot of investigative work with the Kennedy assassination. What's interesting is I've had this book to be reading. I was actually even in Memphis because of this book. And there's some very interesting coincidences about this. So anyway, I've been reading this book for the past couple of months, and I actually hadn't picked it up in about 6 weeks or so. It had been a while since actually probably I was in Memphis, which was maybe 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago, I don't know. So I've been stuck at chapter, around page 107. So I started reading again. And the first chapter I start reading, it talks about Dr. King, who, when he was murdered, was preparing a Poor People's March. This was interesting to me because as a white person, there is some kind of irrationality if I have someone like Dr. Martin Luther King as a standard bearer, somebody to look up to, and someone whose lessons are important, because he was a champion of civil rights and the idea of desegregation and all these things that happened in the course of his life. I was somewhat removed from him because I'm not black myself. I got to just read this. So I picked up the book again, and this happened when I was having a good day. I actually went out and walked today, and then I think I read your post on Twitter is where I read it, and then I go to the website and read it, and then I thought that was great. I continued on with my day. About an hour or so later, I picked up this book and another one called Hyperspace. And I took it outside, and I just decided, I got to read. And so I started reading, and I came across this parable. This is just a portion of Dr. King's final statement before he was murdered, the night before he was murdered. Interesting coincidences. Let me just go through this. The FBI I've only read the first half of this book, 100 and some pages. The FBI was doing counterintelligence work on Dr. King, and what they had done is they had used the media, and they had inserted via the director himself, actually, that Dr. King should be shown as a hypocrite because he was staying at a white-owned hotel in Memphis and not the black-owned Lorraine Motel. And so they also had some statements to suggest that he was staying somewhere above what he was asking of the people that would follow him ultimately. So there was some type of hypocrisy, and the FBI decided we want to have our media sources. So what they do is they insert this information to writers in these different places, these different gazettes, whatever, the local papers, whatever. Media is used by our fucking government to assassinate our best leaders, and that's not talked about. That's covered up. And the thing that was interesting is when I picked up this book, I was reading again, and this is a section from Dick Gregory, another pretty active civil rights champion. I've been to the mountaintop, and towards the end of it, I just need to wrap it up here. I'm sorry. He's talking. Let me just pick it up here. I remember where this is page 116. And again, this is an hour after I had read Your Peace. I remember Mrs. King and I were first in Jerusalem. We rented a car and drove from Jerusalem down to Jericho. And as soon as we got on that road, I said to my wife, I can see why Jesus used this as a setting for his parable. It's a winding, meandering road. It's really conducive for ambushing. You start out in Jerusalem, which is about 1,200 miles, rather 1,200 feet above sea level. And by the time you get down to Jericho, 15 or 20 minutes later, you're about 2,200 feet below sea level. That's a dangerous road. In the days of Jesus, it came to be known as the Bloody Pass. As you know, it's possible that the priests and the Levite looked over that man on the ground and wondered if the robbers were still around. Or it's possible that they felt that the man on the ground was merely faking, and he was acting like he had been robbed and hurt in order to seize them over there, lure them there for quick and easy seizure. And so the first question that the Levite asked was, if I stop to help this man, what will happen to me? But then the Good Samaritan came by, and he reversed the question, if I do not stop to help this man, what will happen to him? When I read that, I thought, wait, did I just read something that was that? I had this thing. I was like, wait, I just read a similar thing about a ditch. Let's read it again. I don't think that mentions ditch. Anyway, The West Wing was written by Aaron Sorkin, I think the majority of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Sorkin, being the master that he is of all of his work, he knew this part of this speech and he put it in this show, and now you have told it back to me out of your husband's experience. Dave loves The West Wing. I've never watched any of these episodes, but I love Sorkin. I mean, he's amazing. And you like bubble water. That's awesome. So thank you so much. Thank you for all the incredible work that you do. I was curious if you ever come across these kinds of things. I think they're called synchronicities, where I don't know, some idea. It's like interesting stuff, and well, thank you for sharing.